What's up, everybody? This is Dan Gazaway, your mental performance coach. I want to ask you something today. Why do athletes often appear more confident than the average Joe? Why are some athletes willing to fail publicly? They're making mistakes in front of crowds, sometimes large crowds. They struggle, they lose, and they still keep showing up day after day. So I was recently at a conference led by the Mentally Strong Institute, and one of the speakers shared something that really stuck with me about confidence. And honestly, one of the statistics there made me a little bit sad. They said that research shows that 1 in 2 adults between the ages of 18 and 29, they consistently feel like they are not enough. Think about that. Half of young adults are walking around questioning their worth. They're doubting themselves. They're comparing themselves, and they feel like they don't measure up. Now, why is that happening? I think comparison probably plays a huge role. Many people are spending over 6 hours a day on their phones comparing their lives, comparing their appearance, their successes, and abilities to everybody else online. And the more comparison grows, we know the more our confidence can actually shrink. But what I like about what sports can teach us, and I talk about this often, is we experience adversity constantly. Adversity is great. We fail far more than we succeed, but we keep showing up every day. That's important. Confidence isn't the absence of failure. Confidence is learning that you can survive failure and keep moving forward day after day, week after week. And that's what mentally tough athletes, we understand that. So I believe confidence begins with the way that we speak to ourselves. Our internal dialogue, our self-talk. I think it's one of the most powerful tools we have to either build or destroy our confidence. And I talk about this all the time. I've created several videos on the topic. Maybe I'll put a couple of links below. But here's what I want to talk about today. At the conference, the speaker shared what they called the 8 drivers of confidence. And I want to share what I feel about these because I think they apply not only to the sport that we participate in, but to our lives, and they can help us. The first thing is setting clear goals with a plan. I talk about this often too. Your confidence is going to grow when you know where you're going. So avoid setting vague goals like I want to be better. But specific goals like I'm going to work on my mechanics 30 minutes every day. Why don't you pick a specific mechanic every day and work on that, or a specific mechanic each week and work on that? Or what about I'm going to improve my breathing routine before competition, or I'm going to document my self-talk before, during, and after games. After I make an error, I'm going to document those. Those are some clear goals that create direction, and direction certainly builds your confidence. The second thing they talk about is celebrating your accomplishments. Now, athletes, I think we're terrible at this because we accomplish something big and we immediately move to the next thing. But I believe that confidence grows from evidence. You need to recognize your progress, celebrate the small wins, document those small wins every day so you have proof that you're actually making some progress. You can celebrate your discipline and celebrate your consistency, and every rep is proof that you are growing. Again, that's going to build some confidence. Number 3, they talked about always being prepared. We know that preparation creates trust. Trust in yourself and your ability to perform when it matters most. And when you feel unprepared, what happens to your anxiety? You better believe it. It rises. But when you know you've put in the work physically and mentally, you compete freely. So your preparation can reduce that fear. Number 4, becoming your own coach and cheerleader. Again, as I talked about before, your self-talk matters. Some athletes speak to themselves in ways that they would never speak to a teammate. I don't want you to be one of those people. Elite athletes learn to coach themselves instead of destroy themselves mentally. So your inner voice is key. It's either building confidence or it's weakening it. So pay very close attention to the words that you speak to yourself on and off the field. Number 5, letting go of past mistakes. I think this is a big one. You cannot carry the last mistake into the next play. The best athletes, the greatest athletes in the world, they reset fast. They learn, they adjust, they move forward. Number 6, regulating emotional responses. Confidence isn't staying calm because nothing's going wrong or nothing went wrong. Confidence is staying composed when things do go wrong. Anybody can feel confident when life is easy, right? Elite performers, they stay steady during adversity. Number 7, knowing who you want to become. That's one of the most powerful questions athletes can ask themselves is this: who do I want to become? Not just as an athlete, but as a person. I've said this several times. You are not your sport. The sport is what you do, not who you are. So your confidence will grow when your actions align with your identity, for sure. Number 8, getting support from positive influences. You become who you hang around. Sometimes confidence is borrowed before it's built internally. Maybe it's from a coach, a teammate, a parent, a mentor. Sometimes somebody believes in you before you believe in yourself, and that matters more than people realize, just like I talked about in my last video about Mr. Wofford. Who is your support system? Who is on your side? So let me leave you with this question. What do you need to believe about yourself to reach your real goals? Really think about that, because many of us are not limited by our talent. We're placing limits on ourselves by the story that we keep repeating in our minds. Your confidence can actually be trained. It's built through adversity. It's built through your preparation. Your confidence is built through repetition, failure, your recovery and belief. So if you learn to train your mind, you will continue to separate yourself when the pressure shows up. So I have an assignment for you guys, okay? Here's your assignment for this week. I want you to write down one limiting belief that you currently have about yourself. Maybe it's, I'm not confident. I always choke under pressure. I'm not talented enough to play at this level. And then I want you to ask yourself, is this actually true? Or is this just a story I've repeated long enough to believe? And then I want you to write down the belief you need to develop to reach your next level. And finally, work on one daily action that supports that new belief. Because again, confidence is built one thought, one rep, one decision at a time. Now, if you're ready to train the mental side of the game and build real confidence under pressure, visit dangazaway.com and let's get to work on the most important part of your performance, your mindset.